Hey guys, welcome back to Couples Chronicles with
Your boy Lloyd.
and Afiya.
Guys, this is season 2. And yes, we made it. We're still married. We still don't agree on every topic, but we've chosen to live a life full of love, laughter, and
Respect.
so buckle up, tune in, grab that buttery popcorn as we tackle our topics for the day.
Let's do it.
All right, topic number 1. I think I'll start it off. How do you handle being in a relationship where you don't get along with your partner's family members, or can it even work?
I think you just have to create boundaries. If I have to be transparent. Like when I think about it, I think, it is important to listen to your family's opinion because they probably know you best, right? Especially depending on how long you've been dating this person. You want to assume that they kind of have your best interests at heart. But the reality is you're the person with them, right? If they make you happy, they make you happy. And it's essentially your life. And they should support whoever makes you happy. I think, they need to know how to interact with them from a place of being cordial 100% and being respectful. But, the reality is you're the only person laying down in bed with them.
I think there's a couple of layers to this.
Hmm.
The first thing that comes to mind for me is which family member are we talking about? Are we talking about your cousin, your brother? Where first of all, I don't care, period. And I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm like that way a lot.
Yeah, you are. And I love that about him, right? He doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't really care as long as I'm into you and you're into me and I know you're into me. We could find a way to maneuver.
Yeah.
But I think it matters who
has the
problem.
Like if your second cousin from way back.
I really don't give. I was just watching the Kevin Hart special, the new Kevin Hart special last night. And he said the older you get, the less fucks you give.
Yeah, very true.
I've been giving a few fucks for a long time. I haven't even been that old. Yeah. But if it's your parents,
it's one thing.
That one might sting a little.
Yeah, because you want your parents
approval. They want the approval of your parents.
And I think I have to ask, why don't they like you? Is it like, you're a thug?
So that's the other layer.
Yeah, like what is it? Like what don't they like about you? I think that's another layer. Is it your personality? Are you selfish? Are you cheap? Are you because that's the thing too, right? Like if your parents know you're this princess that has been taken care of your whole life and then you marry somebody that's selfish and cheap, they're like, this isn't going to work in the long run. Like this might be an immediate thing, a thing for the moment, but they know that what you want and what you want out of life, like they're not going to be able to fulfill that, So I think asking those questions, like, what is it? Why don't they like him? Like, why don't they like her?
No, very, very, very valid points, right? Like, I still don't. I always tell you this, right? Mm-hmm. Whether I agree with any advice, your friend, but we're talking about family, your family member told you, I always tell you, no matter how I feel about it, you have to. I believe that your family are thinking of the best.
Yeah.
For you.
Always say that.
Yeah. So no matter whether I agree with it or not, I think they want what's best for you and they're giving you the best advice that they think they can give to you.
Right.
But I do think to take into consideration is, like you said, what they don't like. If your partner is a drug addict,
right,
and they're telling you, I don't think you should be with this person because the lifeline or the system of a drug addict, what can happen. And, it's your choice to be like, I love him or her with all my heart. And I'm gonna work through it. That's fine as well. But, I always think, your family members do have the best interests. Well, not always, but they're supposed to have the best interests of heart.
And sometimes, and this is for the young girl that's listening, or, sometimes it takes time, right? Because I don't think my parents liked you when we first started dating, but it wasn't that they didn't like him as a person. They didn't like that, like, you were taking me from them, right? So it was less about him and more so about, oh my God, you're taking my daughter from me, and like what do you mean, right? Like, and them adapting to that.
And I didn't necessarily feel a way, nor did I have a fear of telling them that I was gonna marry your daughter. I think in this situation, two things. We moved very quickly. Our relationship moved very quickly. It was like, I remember our first date, not even our first date. Guys, we met on set. Y'all probably heard this story a million times, but we met on set. in Chicago, came back to New York, never left each other's side. It was her birthday right after we met, probably like a month or less right after we met.
Yeah.
And at her birthday dinner, she introduced me as her new boo. So out of nowhere, this shock.
He was like, I didn't even know.
First of all, I didn't even know I was a boo. But I'm giving y'all a backstory on the timeline of why this situation. So
why,
she was,
the red flag.
Yeah, yeah. So she was like, this new guy, this is my new boo. And I think.
Go ahead, sorry.
You guys were at the AKA event, and then you told your mom and her group of friends, you're going to marry me. Yeah. This is all within like 3 months. Yeah. So the red flag and the guard was already up for your parents. Like, who is this guy? So I didn't feel like they didn't like me personally as an individual. Yeah. But who is this guy that's coming to take my daughter? And we don't know enough about him to even know how good of a person he is. So in that situation, I digress. I accept.
Yeah, I don't think you were like at arms per se. I do think that, just listen, but sometimes what's that saying? Listen with a grain of salt, or take everything with a grain of salt.
With a grain of salt.
Right.
Yes.
And so I think sometimes, especially depending on the family member that has the opinion and what that opinion is.
Opinion, they don't like you. Right. I mean, we're talking about don't like this person, not an opinion about our relationship. They just don't like it.
Listen.
Have you been in that situation?
Oof. Where my parents didn't like somebody I was dating?
Or vice versa?
Or when somebody didn't like me?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Have you been in that situation?
I think your mama don't like me. Nah.
Oh, my God. My mama do not like you. Oh, my God.
I think she realized I ain't going nowhere, but, know.
So, no. I'm going to talk about that, but let's backphrase. I'm going to answer the question.
I think that's the closest that I've gotten to feeling like somebody's mom didn't like me. But
Mom, if you listen to this, clear this up for me, please.
I think I will say this, right? There's a lot of things that changed for me when I became a mom. There's a lot of viewpoints, standpoints, emotion, even from an emotional standpoint, changed when I became a mom, because I think I now understand, right? Like I say to my mom all the time, and it's so funny. I say this to her, oh my God, I don't want to share my son with these hoes. And it's so funny. My son is 4, but she laughs at me and I'm like, I understand that. I understand that feeling, right? Mind you, I have a husband, and so it's still like, wow, the idea that like I have to share my son with somebody one day is heartbreaking to me. And it might not be the correct emotion to have, but it is an emotion. It is a feeling that I have that, oh my God, like he's going to like leave me one day. Like all of these are real feelings. And, I just understand them. So I do understand, the mom that's like, my son, right? And like, is she wrong? Probably, but I think it's almost like the topic that we talked about when we talked about, should your spouse be talking to your friend? Like, or, it's like, you probably have the wrong opinion. Is it wrong? Technically, yes. They should be able to communicate, no problem. But might I feel some type of way? Yes. And I think I understand, the emotional side of things now and understand the perspective now that I am a mom. But yes, to answer your question, 100%. Like, I think your mom probably was the closest to feeling like she don't like me.
I'm going to tackle that a little sooner. But so I'm going to answer the question on both sides. First, so I could transition. First, I'm going to talk about when I felt like it wasn't that serious, but I felt like the mom didn't like me. And I don't even know why. Thinking back at this. This was a young lady that I dated on and off for like 6 years. And I just think, I don't know why. I think she thought I was older. So I was about 4 or 5 years older than her. And her daughter had just graduated out of high school. So you're talking about freshman, like 18. Yeah. So I believe the mom...
Freshman in college.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like, not freshman in high school, like...
I said graduate. I said graduate.
No, you said freshman. Freshman.
I said graduate, so then I said freshman.
Okay.
I believe her mom thought that I was influencing her daughter in a negative way. When I'm a nice guy, so I don't know where she got that. One incident happened... I hope they're listening. I don't know if they're still following me, but one incident happened where the young lady worked at Foot Locker outside of work, and everybody want to give their discounts and stuff. When you work at Foot Locker, you're the cool whatever.
Yeah.
But at one situation, I don't know if she was like charging people cards or something, and she was buying me gifts with them.
Okay.
And her mom thought that I was asking her to do these things.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And she got caught and got fired, and then I was the finger to blame. And like the police
So
came.
it was the story that she conjugated in her mind.
It was me that told her to do these things.
And you were the bad influence.
And the good boyfriend that I am, I took the fall. I didn't fight that it was her.
Yeah.
Because
I probably would have cleared that up with the mom.
Look, people, no matter what I say, she's going to love her daughter. No matter what I say. So
I understand that too.
I just, I took the bullet and was like, if that's what you think. I didn't like fight. I didn't say, yes, I did.
Yeah.
If that's what you think, that's what you think. Now, the other flip side where I believe my parents didn't like a young lady, not you.
I was hello. I am the young lady.
The reasoning behind this particular young lady is that my mom, nobody else, my mom felt like the young lady was a little bit too promiscuous.
Oh, that's...
So I come from, I don't think she was. I come from, she was.
Down
the line, she was.
I understand that. Like, I can see that.
So
I come hot to
it. I come from a very religious background. My parents are Baptist. My dad was a deacon. My mom's Sunday school teacher. I was a little drummer boy. So this young lady, again, she was promiscuous. I didn't see it in that way. But so we graduated, and I think this is the first time they actually met her in person.
Yeah.
And we all went out to dinner after graduation. This is high school. And the young lady came and sat on my lap in front of everybody. And I guess my mom didn't approve of that. She didn't say nothing.
How old were you?
I graduated at 17, so.
Yeah, so
she was a year younger than me. She was a grade younger than me. So she was like 16.
She wasn't doing too much.
I know. Again, coming from a Christian background, maybe she thought. My dad didn't feel away. My brother and sister didn't feel away. She just sat on my lap. Wasn't nothing sexual. She just, while we was waiting in the room, waiting in the restaurant, she just came and sat on my lap.
Your mom was probably looking at
She said nothing. I didn't know about this till later.
They was probably looking like,
So they got into an argument, not my parent, not the young lady, my dad, my mom, my brother, and my sister on the drive home or whatever. About the situation. And my dad was like, leave him be, and whatever. Again, not the wrong thing, but that was the only thing. In your situation, to the transition, my mom never, what's the word? Not approach. She never communicated.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell you. I would tell you. I would tell you. I would check my mom if anything.
Mm-hmm.
But she never communicated anything of that nature. Have y'all had y'all run-ins? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
About certain situations, and I've told my mom what she should have done in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that created some type of a little tension, but I don't think it's anything that's disrespectful or that went overboard or anything like that.
I also think, like I said, I'm a mom now. So I feel like, what's that scene? What's that movie? Think Like a Man Too, right? Where Terrence J was dating.
The mama boy?
Yeah, the mama's boy, right? Not that you're a mama's boy. He's not a mama's boy. But I think I understand all sides and all perspectives now. I think, if you would have asked me this question in the beginning of our relationship when I wasn't a mom, or, I couldn't see it from the lens that I do now. But I think even in situations currently, right, or anything in the future, if she rubbed me the wrong way, I still would operate and have operated from a place of respect,
for sure,
right? Because as a mom, I would want to be given that respect, even if I was dead ass wrong. Like, I would want somebody to give just because I put him here. Yeah, I birthed him, and I obviously would want you to defend me, and you have done that.
I have done that.
You have done that, but I think I do understand, like, maintaining a level of respect, and that's called growth. That's called growth. Like, I'm the type of person that's like, you're wrong, like, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong. But I think I understand now, and maybe that's emotional growth and emotional maturity. He's 100% been around for that emotional growth and maturity. I think I understand now, like, saying what I have to say, the perspective on both sides, and maintaining that respect.
All right, let's move on, guys. You know what I like to say.
Yeah.
If you've been in the situation, comment on our post. Let us know what you think.
Like, if your husband or your boyfriend's mother doesn't like you, chime in.
Question number 2.
How does a person in a relationship keep the individuality aspect of their own life and not let the relationship consume them without creating conflict?
really deep question, and I really do think that this is one of these questions that's an old tale, and it will continue to be an issue in relationships.
Yeah.
First, let me think about it. I haven't really thought about it. Have this been a problem in our relationship?
Yeah.
Do you think? If you could?
No, I think we do a great job at keeping our own individuality.
That's true.
And I think a big part of that is career, right? I think like you have your career, I have mine. I think you support the individual aspects of my career. Even when I don't feel like it. Like you're very keen on Afiya go do it. Afiya, like you push me in a lot of ways. That could be going to Italy. It could be going to France. It could be, I don't go to LA as much as I go to Europe. I go to Europe quite often, but any situation where opportunity presents itself, you're the backbone, and the culprit behind go, right? So I think we do a great job at, having things where we share a common denominator in the work field, but we also have our own individual careers and interests per se, right? And I also think even businesses, we've started business. We've had a lot of businesses, guys. Like we started a trucking company. I had an event space. He has a fitness and lifestyle company. He has a modeling agency. We have like a lot of different companies and a lot of different businesses. And I think it's important that some of those businesses we've done together and then some of those businesses we done separately. And I think it's a beautiful thing to support your partner, but know that it's their company, right? Like you can support them and show up for them, but it's still theirs, I saw you do that with me with the event space. I do that with you with your fitness. It's still your company, right? So I think that a big part of that individuality is having your own careers, having your own interests that are outside of the relationship. And in addition to having businesses, that connect you, because your children, the bills, the home, you don't want that to be the only common denominator between you two, because that gets old real quick. They say you have to be careful because as time progresses, one of the only things that you end up having in common are the kids and the bills, and after a while, like you're like, the kids get older, they leave. And then once you just have bills, there's nothing really keeping you together. So I think it's important to kind of have those central points.
There's two sides of this story. There's two sides of the story. Let's talk about the first side, where your partner respects you and you being your own person within the relationship.
Yeah.
That's the easy part of this topic, where, okay, you're a model, you're model influencer, and you have to keep this aspect of your life and not let, and I not fault you for that, for separating that, not that you try to, but keeping a separation between that aspect of your own life and your person and your individuality, and being a mom and a husband,
wife,
and and a mom and a wife to me.
Yeah.
Because the other side of that coin is me. I want to say necessarily resenting you for not allowing us to be the full focus of your life and your direction.
And there are some people that want that. There are some men that's
the consumption part I talked about. There are some men that want that, and that's where the tension happens.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think there are some men that's like, they don't want. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
We've had this conversation many times where they don't want the wife to have anything else going on besides the husband, the children, the home, and that's it. And I think that's scary. I think that's another level of control. I think one day, the kids get big, and I think when you look in the mirror and you don't have a self-identity that exists outside of him and the children, that's a hard place to be in, and I think it's so easy to lose yourself inputting the family first. And it's okay to put the family first, but it's also important to, have your goals and aspirations and, the things that you aspire to do in there as well. Whether that be number 2, number 3, you know what I mean? Number 4, as long as they're in the equation somewhere, it's so important.
And then there's the other 2 sides. So it's not really 4 sides. There's the self-inflicted consumption, and then there's the forced consumption. What I mean by self-conflicted is that, and just off topic, right? You hear about the Ayesha Curry and the Steph Curry situation.
Yeah.
Where she felt, I'm only going by what I analyze or what I see or what I think of the situation.
Yeah.
What is their truth is their truth.
Mm-hmm.
But she felt like she gave so much of herself to him and his career, consumed by that, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But now she's feeling resentment. I feel that she's feeling resentment, not directly to him, but I think of the situation that she wasn't able to do the things that she wanted to do.
Right.
And that's the conflict. Then the other side of it, like you mentioned, is the husbands or the wives that try to force that consumption on the partner where they don't want them to do anything outside of the relationship. And then it becomes a problem. Now y'all quarreling and fighting about these things because one, you're fighting for your own individuality and your own space, and other side, they don't want you to have that individuality.
Yeah.
It should be all about us.
Yeah, that's scary. Listen, I think if that side of things works for you, that works for you. That doesn't work for me. And nor do I think that if I was having this conversation with my daughter or my friend or anybody else, would I think that that's healthy? Because I do think having a sense of self is very important.
Super, super important.
Yeah, it's important. Like, I
People
do
lose
think
themselves, man.
all the time. And it's so easy because transparently, being a wife and a mom, it's consuming. It's time consuming. And it's tiring, right? Like there's sometimes I'm like, I just want to sit on the couch. He see me and he's like, you just chilling. Yeah, because I'm tired.
Today's one of these days. You're just going to sit on the couch.
Yeah, like I'm just like, I just want my peace. My peace is so important to me, and sometimes I'm just mentally tapped out where I'm just like, yeah, he won. My son won. He's 4. He has a lot of energy. He won. You imagine if you have 4 kids. They won. You know what I mean? Like you're just trying to make it to bedtime. That is a real thing. And that's a thing for a lot of moms. And, if the husband is going out working and he's coming out at 6, 7, 8, and now it's bedtime, as a mom, you're mentally exhausted. Right. And that is the truth, So I think when you get to a place of balance, it's important to remember and to come back and figure out like who you are and, even try new things, because sometimes what you wanted to do 10 years ago is not what you want to do now. Or, it's okay to start trying new things. One thing that I love about Steph Curry or LeBron James, and granted, they have the funds to do so, but I feel like they have also poured into their wives. And I've seen that, at one point, Ayesha was doing like cooking. She was doing like cooking and she had a cookware line.
I think she did that herself, though. I think she wanted to do something for herself.
Yes,
so
and that's
he supported
beautiful.
it.
You're talking to somebody that opened an event space. I want to do something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's important to me, especially because we got married so young. Like, I want to have a business and a company and a thriving business for myself. It's not that I don't want things with you. It's important that us as women have something for ourselves. That's a part of just growing up and being a woman and just being secure and sound in who you are.
As importantly, I want you also to have things for yourself.
Yes, I know,
So
but when you talk about the perspective of a husband not wanting that for his wife and being controlling, it's weird. That's another level of control that I'm just like, baby, this is unhealthy. This is toxic. Like, if you want to be honest, like if he's forcing you and telling you, hey, you can't have anything else going on besides me and these kids, run. Like, that is run,
And before, go ahead.
But I was saying that Ayesha, Steph Curry, and LeBron James, like I said, now Savannah, I think was it a makeup line she's coming out with or a clothing line? She definitely has a podcast that she does. I listen to it. But yeah, I think Savannah's coming out with a makeup line, I think. But I know Ayesha had her own, cookware and cooking business. And whether she did it for herself, he supported it. It came into fruition. We saw it. The people saw it, I think that's great. Like, even if she decides she doesn't have to do anything, but I think the fact that she wants to and they support it, like, that's healthy.
So to be clear for the audience, because this is a very, I think it's a very important topic. And we probably will come back to this as some aspect of this later on in the topic. But I don't know if we were clear to the audience. How do we navigate that conflict? Like, how do we work through that process on both sides?
I think if you're in a situation where your husband is telling you, hey, I don't want you to do anything else besides cater to me and these children, I think you have to figure out if that's what you want, right? Assess if that's something that you want.
After the 4 kids?
Right. I think I believe it's healthy? No. But I think that you have to assess, hey, am I happy if I only do this? If I only show up for my husband and my children every day, do I feel whole? Right? I think that's the first conversation. If you do, go ahead. Go right ahead, right? But I think if you don't, communicating that to him and sitting down and saying, hey, like, I want to do something for me. And hopefully, he's a supportive husband that embraces that. I feel like I saw this on My Wife and Kids.
Okay.
I'm
gonna trust you.
I did. I saw this on My Wife and Kids.
She sit on the couch? Yeah, that's what she's doing.
I did. I saw this on My Wife and Kids. But I think, having that conversation and hopefully, he loves you enough to support you. And if not, I don't, yeah.
And how about the other way around, the self-inflicted consumption, where you allow yourself to be consumed by the relationship and lose your individuality? How does one try to avoid that from happening? Like, what's that playbook like?
I think it's so important to, and I say this to myself. I'm not even just talking to you guys. These are conversations that I also have with myself. Do something every day for yourself. Show up intentionally.
That's going to be my answer.
Like, be intentional about showing up for yourself every single day. It might be something small, like going to the gym. It might be something small, like writing down your goal list for 2026. It might be something small, like, writing down that business plan. It might be something small, like working on your investment. Do something every single day that allows you to show up for yourself like you show up for other people. Because when you look around, when you stop and you'll look at how you poured into everybody else except yourself, and that will leave you feeling empty. It'll leave you looking to the left and the right, like, oh my God, I gave to this person, I gave to that person, and then you're looking at you like, when was the last time you showed up for yourself? Like, your to-do list is left a month ago. You got none of those things done, but you found time to show up for everybody else. So I think, to your point, being intentional about showing up for yourself, whether it's something small every single day. Like, I love coffee. I'm intentional about having a cup of coffee every single day.
Whether she intentionally tell me to go get it,
or I go get it, I am intentional. Like, the world is not round without a cup of coffee. Insert coffee ad here. He's intentional about going to the gym every day. He's very intentional. It doesn't matter where we are, what time it is, literally what country we're in. Whether
I always tell her, like, I don't care what you have. Because she have my plans before I have my plans. She know what I'm doing before I know what I'm doing. Well, not on a typical work if I'm busy, but like on a regular day. I just ask, let me just get this workout in, and I'm yours.
Yes.
Let me just get this workout in, and I can do whatever you want.
He's extremely intentional. I think finding that time to be intentional for yourself is honestly a form of self-love. Like, it's saying, hey, I love me just as much as I love everyone else around me. And I think that's what's most important. But it's scary, it's scary thinking that, your partner could be so selfish that they don't want you to find an ounce of time to show up for you in your life. This is your life.
And selfish, to not try to find time for yourself as well.
Yeah.
But let us know on both sides. I'm interested on both sides. Are you the one in the relationship that gets consumed by the relationship and wants, forget about yourself?
Some people are like, my man.
I think it happens. I don't know if they like it because I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah.
Or are you on the other side, the one that forces your partner to, or don't want your partner to have any type of self, individuality? We're gonna try a new segment in in season 2, 2026 is coming up, but in season 2 specifically, where the questions that people want to know. So we go on our live, mostly her live.
Follow me on Instagram at Afiya Bennett.
Instagram ad here. And ask people what do they want to know. Not necessarily about us. It's directly at us, yes, but about relationships and questions and how we navigate stuff. We always pick topics, but we get personal, but this is the time that we're trying to invite you guys, the audience, into our lives and what we do. So let's go with, we're going to try to tackle 2 of those questions before we bounce. Question number 1 of what people want to know. Have you ever been cheated on, and how did it make you feel? You go first.
Okay. I was cheated on. I'm trying to think.
How did you find out? Oh, you assumed?
No.
You found out?
Yeah. Okay. This fool. No, it's so funny because I wonder if he's watching this show.
I hope he is.
Right? This fool. I was so young, guys. There was like a party. And
I think I heard this story.
Yeah, like it was so weird. Like I went to the party and I was trying to get him to come to the party, and it was weird. Like he was saying like he was delaying not coming or not showing up to the party. It was very strange. And he didn't show up to the party. It was just weird. Like we were young. It was like, okay, let's go to this party, blah, blah, blah. And he just either didn't want to come, was finding excuses. It was strange. Mm-hmm. The interaction was strange. I go to the party. I'm having a good time. Don't sleep on God. I'm a God's girl. And one thing about God gonna show me the truth no matter where I am. I'm at the party. Imagine a party full of people, and somehow I end up getting connected with the girl he cheating with. Literally, like I'm a very social person. So I'm going to talk to people, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I'm also very tall. So automatically I draw attention just from people looking at me. But, I was like, just being friendly, vibing, and I remember me and the girl, we hit it off. It was just so odd. We hit it off and I was like, oh, nice to meet you, blah, blah. And this is how you know it was a long time ago, because this was before Instagram. This was when Facebook was like a thing. So we exchanged Facebooks, and when we went to Facebook, it was like, oh, we have a mutual friend. And the mutual friend was him. And she was like, I was like, oh, how do you know him? And she was like, oh, like we were dating or we talk or something like that. And I was like, funny. That's my boyfriend. Like, it's so crazy. Like, look at that. Look, like awkward, right? She was a pretty girl. But it was just so funny because I'm like, what's the likelihood there has to be 100 people here? It was 2-floor. It was a 2-floor party at that. I will never forget it. 2-floor party of all the people in here. And I end up talking to, connecting, laughing, having fun with the one girl that he's dealing with, And I just was like, don't sleep on God, because one thing I believe God is going to show me the truth no matter where I am. Like, I'm not even going to have to look for it. He's going to put it so blatant in front of my face that I can't even ignore it. And, I think that's pretty much what happened to me. But I don't know. I wasn't upset with her.
How did it make you feel?
I wasn't upset with her.
I mean, you shouldn't be upset with her.
Yeah, because obviously
never
she didn't know.
Never upset with the other person.
Yeah, like obviously she didn't know. And funny enough, because at this point, we hit it off. So now I'm like, you're super cool. We were both Scorpios. Like, I was like, I see why he like you. Like, you're pretty, you're nice. Like, I get it, But, I ended up breaking up with him. But that was the end of that story. But, yeah, he was a cheater.
On my side, of course, I think everybody's been cheated on, really. And if you believe otherwise, you're the fool. But, I'm going to give you two quick stories. One, I knew about from the get-go. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. If I didn't, here it goes. This young lady had an ex-boyfriend that she couldn't shake. And
he always talk about that one
ex. It's always an ex that you can't shake.
It's always that one
It's always the one person. Well, not always. There's nobody for me, but I'm a different breed.
Oh, now he's
it's nobody for me.
To the rule.
I am the exception. I am exactly the exception to the rule.
Seem like a real man.
I have nobody. I have nobody that's
always
in my
think
mouth.
He's omitted.
Anyway, she had this ex that she couldn't shake, and I knew of the ex. I knew of the ex when we first started talking. I knew of him. I didn't know him. What she didn't know is that I didn't know how he looked. I know who he was.
Yeah.
So one time we was going to the movies, and we get into, it's a very popular movie theater. This is in Miami. And we get to the movie theater, and I'm a person that look around. I'm very aware of what's around me. Boom, I spot him. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, let's see how she navigates this. Because I kind of knew she was still talking to him, not like boyfriend, girlfriend, because I was her boyfriend, main, but I still know that they were in communication. So I was like, let me see how she navigate this. So we get to the movie theater, ticket line. I'm trying to pay for the ticket. I wish I knew remember what movie it was, so I could see how long ago this was. Anyway, we go to the movie ticket. This is in high school. And all of a sudden, she, I'm paying. She's like, you know what? I don't want. I paid already. Matter of fact, not even.
She said, I don't want to go to the movie.
I don't want to go to the movie no more. So I know why. She doesn't know I know why. I'm like, why?
She's so awkward.
I just don't want to go to the movie theater. And so I simply said, I
don't even want to go anymore.
And
My
funny.
stomach hurt. My stomach hurt.
This is like a comic relief where the comic goes back to one of the previous points they made. Mm-hmm. So you remember the promiscuous girl? This was her. This was her. So this was the promiscuous girl. So I knew why. So I asked her, if why you don't want to go? I say, if you don't want to, I'm not going to name, I almost said the name. If you don't go into this movie theater with me right now, it's over. Mm. She was like, what? I gave you back the money for that. I'm like, it's not about the money. I asked her one more time, you don't want to go to the movies? Boom, we left. We broke up that night. I never told her why. Hope she's watching, like you. Hope she's watching. I knew why. And then the other one, her friend told me, I knew I had my assumptions, but then her friend confirmed those assumptions. And, she should travel. And then one time, I would always try to call her and she'd be like, oh, her phone, she's by family. Her phone don't work in this area. This is back in the days where the phone poles were kind of sketchy if you wasn't in the right area with AT&T or whatever. So,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me now? That whole commercial. But I had my assumptions and I never told her that I knew again. I think I still dated her for a while and then we just eventually broke up. So, how did it make me feel? Like I said, I've not been given a fuck for a lot of years. Yeah. That's a good thing and a bad thing. I've learned to embrace feelings more. My wife have helped me with that. I have a very nonchalant attitude and demeanor about me. Sometimes to my benefit, but a lot of times not to my benefit. I didn't really feel away. I was young then too. So that's that. Anyway, we're gonna try to do this segment every episode to get you a little insight about us and what we do and how we operate and how we navigate. But take us out, baby. You know how we do, like nobody else could.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Couples Chronicles
with your boy Lloyd
and Afiya. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share.
See you guys next time. Peace.